Well, with Don't Ask, Don't Tell finally decided, the military is about to turn its attention. Well, we have some breaking news this morning. Pope John Paul II is now officially on the road to sainthood. A big announcement from the Vatican coming just moments ago. John Allen is our senior Vatican correspondent and a correspondent with the National. When we say that Pope John Paul has been beatified, where is he in the process of sainthood?
Well, this is basically the next
May. And
yeah, May is the month that John Paul was born. It is also the month of Mary in Catholic devotion, and more specifically,
beloved Pope by millions of people, but this does not come without controversy. First of all, the proof of the miracle that a woman who was suffering from Parkinson's prayed to John Paul and then was cured, and that's been called into question.
Yeah, that's right. This is a 49-year-old French nun who was...
Controversy about the, quote, fast-tracking of sainthood, that this is a process that technically plays out in much longer form than what's happened with Pope John Paul.
Yeah, and in many cases, these...
First, then, that will be the official beatification ceremony taking place. As you said, they're expecting millions to come out to Rome to witness that. Thanks so much for being with us, John Allen. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Kira.
TJ?
All right, Karen.
Those are good life lessons. I thought he said grandfather.
You say grandmother?
Oh,
grandfather.
Sorry.
Anybody? Either way, whoever it came from. Good information. But Pierce going to be debuting on Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern.
And good morning to you. Glad you're with us on this American Morning, Friday, January 14th. I'm Kiran Chetry.
Hey, good morning to you all. I'm TJ Holmes. Also ahead for you this hour, it's a very popular, if not cheesy, pickup line. What's your sign? Well, don't be offended if she doesn't know. They might be changing.
Well, a miracle in Tucson this morning, really. Gabrielle Giffords, the Congresswoman, is making remarkable strides in her recovery, and doctors admit that they're amazed, in some cases even saying it also took doctors only 38 minutes to get Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords from the front door of the emergency room to the operating room table last Saturday. And some people say that what has happened since is really nothing short of a miracle. Others credit the great medical care, and maybe it's a bit of both. Can you find out where you would be bumped to, or is it just arbitrary? They'll just following some breaking news right now, just into CNN. According to Italian prosecutors, we come back. We're following the weather down south. They're trying to Bill. He has his dolphin blue shirt on today.
Yes, and there's a good reason for that. Dolphins. You wouldn't imagine that anybody, can actually imitate what someone is doing without actually see them doing it. You follow me here? Dolphins can actually do this. Smart little animals here.
We know that they have very interesting senses, and that they're quite smart for the animal world. Well, they perform tricks in the pool, but researchers in Florida are now saying that dolphins may have even more smarts than we thought, and they're putting it to the test. Here's John Zarella with an AM original. Be a big break for investigators in the Tucson shooting. A black bag found just blocks from accused shooter Jared Loeffner's home. Authorities say that it contained ammunition matching what was used in the shooting. Representing Loeffner this morning. So just an interesting note about the case and how it's played out. Many in Arizona's judicial system have had to recuse themselves because a federal judge was killed in this case. And in terms of public defenders, there are a lot of people who refused, I guess, sort of steps into it. And she's notorious for taking on cases that other people don't want to touch. What is she like, and why does she do this?
I have a lot of respect for her. I think she's very smart.
Off of death row. She's responsible for, right, Eric Rudolph not getting the death penalty, perhaps making some sort of agreement as well for Ted Kaczynski and Susan Smith.
Yes, I mean, she's going to try to do the best she can as far as
her client. And, you know, a lot of people are looking back and pouring through the history of this suspect and saying, were there any signs, whether and how this is proceeding? I mean, we don't have many details right now, but we do know that he's not said to be cooperating with police in this situation. So if they have to move forward, you know, if he's going to plead not guilty and they're going to move forward, you know, is this a pretty easy, an easier case to put together because of all the eyewitnesses, because of the potential for forensic evidence?
I think the facts of what
escape the death penalty or even a conviction on the federal level. There's also the state charges as well. There are some of these federal charges for the attempted assassination of a congresswoman, the murder of a federal judge, and then you have the other people that were shot, killed, and wounded as well.
Right. Judy Clark's...
Letcher, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
40 minutes past the hour right now. Will it be a Golden Night Sunday for The Social Network, or will the King's Speech reign at the Golden Globes? Either way, it's of course a big Hollywood weekend with the first star-studded award show of the season. And joining us with a preview is Us Weekly senior editor Bradley Jacobs. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Best Picture situation. True Grit, many people feel that they were shut out, that this
Yeah,
was a
it was
great movie, and that I guess, foreign press didn't think so.
And it's funny, but
Right now, Natalie Portman, a lot of buzz about this Black Swan, this sort of dark bow in it.
she's going to win on Sunday night for her category. But remember, you have
Firth's role, and also, of course, Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network. Which one do you think is going to come out on top?
I think that Colin Firth is going to win. You know, this
Best movie, actually. I thought this was interesting. I mean, I saw The Social Network. I mean, it was a good movie, but I mean, Best Picture for the Golden Globes. Do you think it's going to win?
It was the best reviewed movie.
Behind it because it is so now.
Yes,
but
it was
I mean, as its own movie, did you
As
think
its
it
own
was...
movie, I thought it was constructed incredibly well. I thought you.
TV, real quick. Glee for
Best comedy.
For Best Comedy, or Modern Family, which
Yeah.
is
Well,
hilarious.
Glee won last year.
Seeing if your picks were correct.
Oh, okay, absolutely. checking. Hopefully they will be.
All right, Bradley Jones, thanks so much for Bradley Jacobs from Us Weekly. Thanks so much, and he brought a magazine. You know, it's the way to the girl's heart, of course. We go through it so quickly, but we can't keep our eyes off of it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, TJ.
You have my word on that.
All right, good. It's been a tough winter so far for mayors like Bloomberg, Governor Christie.
That's a good point.
Now you're mayor over here because, yeah, people expect the basics. They want their streets cleared. By the way, after TJ was scoffing at the Us Weekly, Miss Bonnie Schneider, what's he looking at right here under his desk? Of course.
Us Weekly.